Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's the singers, the singers only. The singers only.
Hey you guys, it's Kristal Cherelle from Indie Artist School. Welcome to the Singer's Arsenal. Today we're talking about picking the right song. Now, I know in the beginning it can be very tempting to just choose any song that you like, but it may not be right for your voice. And that's okay if you don't know that starting out. But there are some things, 5 things that I think are important for you to consider when you choose your song. Before I get into these 5 steps, I think it's important that you understand your voice so that you can know if this song fits that criteria. Otherwise, it might be a little difficult for you to know if you are really choosing the right song. Just using that as a disclaimer, know your voice, all right? So the first thing you need to know in order to pick the right song is you need to make sure it's in your range. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that the song itself has to be originally written in your range, but if you're singing to a backing track or to an instrumental or something like that, or if you're working with a band, you need to make sure that they can change the key or you can find a key to where it will fit your vocal range. If you don't know how to determine whether or not it's already in your range or not, here are some things you can consider. Are you straining a lot? Are the notes hard to sing? Or maybe it is in your range, but it's just not in the best parts of your voice. It just kind of makes you uncomfortable to sing the song for long periods of time. Like you can't really hold your notes as well consistently throughout the song. Like maybe you start out strong, but have trouble ending strong. These are some ways that you might see you're having a hard time singing the song. Another thing to consider is, if it's too low for you as well, you might have some notes that you can't really hit. And this goes either way. If it's too high, there's notes you can't hit. Or they might be notes that you can hit, but they don't sound as good. You know what I mean? The second thing that you need to consider when you're picking a song is choosing a song with an artist who has a similar voice type as yours. And I know I said vocal range is a part of it, and so it could stand to reason that if it's in your range, that, that's fine. That's all you need to know. But there are some nuances to voices that lend them to have different skill sets, like they might sing vocal runs a lot. And maybe that's not exactly your strength. Maybe you're a belter. Or maybe you're really vibey and you just like to have a lot of long notes and a little bit of airiness to your voice. You might want to choose an artist who is similar. Now, in the beginning, it can be, and I talked about this when I was talking about learning how to find your voice, but you may want to emulate artists that you hear. But rather than you trying to change your voice to match someone else, it's good for you to find artists who have voices that are already similar to yours. But there's no way you're going to know that if you don't know your voice. So it really does help if you get with a vocal coach who can help you navigate that arena in case you're lost, okay? All right, and the third thing to consider when you're choosing your song is make sure that it doesn't expose your weaknesses more than your strengths. Everybody has a bridge. It's the part where your voice is shifting registers. The chest voice is where you normally speak in, and your mixed register is right in between. It's right when it gets hard for you to sing without changing something with your mouth and your resonance. So you have to do things like maybe raise your soft palate to get the notes out, but you can't do it the way you speak. And then the other way is your head voice. There's another bridge there between your mixed and your head voice. As you're shifting through those registers, there are certain notes in your voice that are a little less reliable, right? But if the song just really, like say the hook has that note over and over again, maybe that's not the best song for you. You know what I mean? Certainly you can develop your own weaknesses into strengths over time. And honestly, it kind of depends on what you plan to do with the song. Are you using the song as a tool, as a vehicle for you to develop your voice? Or are you picking songs for a gig you have coming up next week? Okay, because that changes what kind of songs you pick. The fourth step is making sure that the song is close to your skill level. You have to think about it like this, you guys. When you cover a song that another artist has sung, chances are your listeners have heard that song already. And when they hear the song again, they want to hear at least equal to or better than the original. Now, I don't want that to discourage you from choosing songs that are well beyond your skill level, because remember, I said it matters what your vehicle is. If you're training your voice and you're getting lessons, then by all means, choose a song that will help you grow, okay? But if, like I said, you have a performance coming up, or you're trying to record your first album and you wanted to put a cover on there, choose songs that are closer to your skill level or even lower than, so that you can make them better when you perform them, okay? Now, the thing about doing that as far as your vocal growth, that doesn't necessarily make you become a better vocalist, but what it does do is make sure that your performance is equal to or better than the original song. So when you're picking a song, the purpose really matters here. And I keep saying, make sure that it's right for your voice and all of that. Those are the main things, no matter what the purpose is. You want to make sure that's true. But as far as the skill level is concerned, that can vary depending on the purpose of you choosing the song. But yeah, keep that in mind, you guys, because it can be very common, especially if you're in a cover band. People want just the most popular songs, top 40 hits and all of that. And sometimes they're not considering any of this stuff. They just want to do songs that they know people will love. While that is important, as a vocalist, you want to make sure that you can give it your best performance, okay? And the fifth thing that you want to make sure you do is make sure that it's a song that you can relate to. Let's remember that, you're expressing emotions when you sing. And if it's a song that has nothing to do with your life experience, it could be really hard for you to tap into a real, true, authentic performance. So choosing songs that you relate to, that resonate with your life experience, that you feel you can add something to, is a very good factor to consider. All right, I know I said 5 things, but throughout all of this, I also want you to consider whether or not you might have to change this song a little bit. All right, you don't necessarily have to sing the song as is. In fact, that's part of your freedom. That's part of your creative expression. So even though these are the 5 things that you need to consider as you're picking a song to make the best song choices for your voice, just understand that you do have some creative ability to vary a little bit. So you can, let's take an example. Say it's a song you just really love, okay? And maybe it got 3 out of these 5 things checked, but maybe not all of them, okay? And that's normal. That will happen in the beginning. So let's just say it's a little beyond your skill level, but it's in your range. So good job. Hey, there you go. One thing that you can do is maybe arrange it to where you can simplify it. So maybe you don't have to sing every run that comes up, or maybe you could do something different in a space where there would be something that shows your weakness, and instead do something that is a strength of yours to compensate for that. And the good thing about doing this, instead of just simplifying what's already there, but replacing it with something you're really good at, is that it still showcases what you're able to do, right? Rather than comparing you hand in hand with the original artist. So there is a level of making sure that you can do what the artist is doing, but as a performer, you want to make sure that you can show the audience what you can do and that you can express the emotions how you do it best. Now, if you want to learn what it is that your strengths are, if you want to learn how you can pick the right song and make it your own, and you want voice lessons, go ahead and visit my website. indieartistschool.com. I give virtual one-on-one private voice lessons, and I also have an online course called the Indie Artist Toolkit, where I show you the introduction to how to release your own music, copyright, royalties, gigging, and learning how to negotiate your contracts and things like that. So go ahead and check that out. That's indieartistschool.com. You can also book a free consultation with me there so that I can walk you through the enrollment process. If you've been watching these videos and listening to this podcast, thank you. You are amazing. I really couldn't do this without you, and this is the reason why I do it. So many of you have either DM'd me or even showed up in my consultation and became a student with me, and you told me that it's because of the content. It's because of the videos that I'm producing or the podcast you're listening to, and you're telling me that it's helping you. And that means a lot, you guys. I'm a vocal coach. That's what I care about. I want to know that what I'm doing is making a difference. So thank you guys so much for being so supportive, and I will continue to do this, okay? And for those of you who have shown that you appreciate it by donating to the podcast, oh my goodness, you're amazing too. And if you want to support this podcast by donating, go ahead and visit anchor.fm/thesingersarsenal/support. That's anchor.fm/thesingersarsenal/support. Picking the right song is so important. You want to showcase your abilities. You want to be comfortable, and you definitely don't want to be hurting your voice. So I hope you guys really take these 5 steps into consideration when you're picking a song. And don't worry, if you get it wrong, that's okay. You can try again. There's no harm in changing your song choice, all right? Well, you guys, until next time, have a wonderful day.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's the singer's eyes.